On Global TV News Express, Tinubu announces new chairman for Federal Character Commission. In business, marketers, stakeholders slam NNPC Limited over failed refineries rehabilitation. On foreign scene, Canada, United Kingdom says peace must not be imposed on Ukraine. In sports, Super Eagles striker Sadiq buys NNL club Ranchers Bees. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Express on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times 276. President Bola Tinubu has made a U-turn, naming former House of Representative member from Osun State, Ayo Emidaran, as the chairman of the Federal Character Commission, as after reappointing Dr. Mahiba Dankaka. Earlier in a statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, Tinubu had approved the appointment of Dankaka for a second 5-year term. However, Onanuga reversed the earlier statement, announcing Emidaran as successor for Dankaka, whose tenure the presidency noted was dogged by controversy. In a major boost to environmental restoration efforts in Ogoni land, the federal government has commissioned 4 additional water projects. The projects are in Bodo, Ogwere Bole, Taba, and Eteb communities across Gokana Kana and Eleme local government areas of River State. Minister of Environment Balarabe Abbas Lawal, who led the commissioning in Obodo, urged residents to take ownership of the facilities and protect them from vandalism. Aniete Patrick has details.
The Minister of Environment, Balarabe Lawal, says the project reaffirms the government's commitment to the full implementation of the United Nations Environment Programme report on Ogoni to deliver clean water, justice, and development to communities long affected by environmental degradation.
We are looking at training, we are doing remediation and other aspects that relate to the communities involved. So as we celebrate this milestone, I President of Obodo will go over Taba and to take ownership of these facilities, ensure proper use, safeguard them against vandalism, and collaborate with APRE to maintain their functionality. So we must own this project.
The high point of the event was the inauguration of the Gokana area office by the Minister of Environment, which he said will strengthen community relations. He also directed cook stoves to reduce mangrove deforestation. Aniete Patrick, reporting for Global TV.
The National Youth Service Corps members have been urged to lead the way in fighting terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, and cultism, politically thuggery, and all sorts of insecurity across the country. The call was made by the Northeast Zonal Coordinator, National Center for Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons, Northeast Zonal Center, Major General Abubakar Adamu, retired at Corps Orientation Camp in Bauchi State. Abubakar emphasized that with the involvement of youth, especially Corps members, in fighting the proliferation of small arms and light weapons, insecurity issues would be a thing of the past in no distant time. Protests erupted today when students of the Polytechnic in Bauchi went on the rampage after robbers attacked their hostel, stealing gadgets and leaving many injured. The students lamented that the Polytechnic had failed to protect them from the attack that happened at night. It was reported that the armed robbers stole the students' property and 9 persons were injured. The angry students were seen demonstrating on the Bauchi-Das Road, mounting a blockade to prevent movement around the institution's main entrance. The People's Democratic Party, that is PDP in Sokoto State, has criticized the arrest of former governor and serving Senator Aminu Tambuwal by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, that is EFCC, describing it as a political move to weaken the opposition. In a statement issued this morning, his publicity secretary, Hassan Yanjinawal, the PDP claimed the arrest was part of a bigger plan by the All Progressive Congress-led federal government to intimidate political opponents and crush growing resistance to President Bola Tinubu's administration. The party described EFCC's investigation as fishing expedition based on an old case that had failed to produce evidence in the past. Cross River State Head of Service Dr. Innocent Eteng has confirmed implementation of the national minimum wage by the administration of Governor Basi Otu. The head of service disclosed this in Calabar, noting that the state government implemented the national minimum wage according to agreement with organized labor. Speaking shortly after unveiling the program of activity to mark the ongoing Civil Public Service Day celebration, Eteng stated that the Otu administration graciously implemented the minimum as written in the agreement. The federal government has recorded a milestone in digital learning as the Universal Basic Education Commission, in partnership with Korea International Cooperation Agency, has rolled out the groundbreaking Smart Education Initiative. The project introduced modern learning tools and teaching capacity building across public primary and junior secondary schools. Our correspondent, Priscilla Obasi, was there for Global Television.
The closing ceremony of the Universal Basic Education Commission (UBEC) and Korea International Cooperation Agency (KIOCA) Smart Education Project was held at the Universal Basic Education Commission's Digital Center in Abuja, showcasing a 3-year initiative aimed at transforming basic education in Nigeria through technology and innovative teaching. In her remarks, Executive Secretary of Universal Basic Education Commission, Aisha Garba, celebrated the project's successes, which include development of Nigeria's first Smart Education Master Plan, establishment of 6 content development studios, creation of almost 4,000 digital science and math lessons, and the setup of 21 operational smart schools benefiting over 8,000 pupils.
We have taken advantage of introducing technology in our classrooms through what we call the Smart School model.
Industry leaders at the event included Tak Namgung, representing Korea's ambassador Kim Pyeokgyu, via the public diplomacy section of Korean Embassy.
Independent assessments show that students in those smart schools are performing better in mathematics and science. Nigeria's young people are brimming with potential, creativity, and resilience.
Global Television spoke with the principal of the Smart School in Abuja, who shared insight on the project's impact.
What we are doing is digital, where you teach a child through the tablet, computer. You give them assignments through Google Classroom. Even if they are at home, they can do the assignment, and you as a teacher are monitoring them. The admission is open to everybody.
The event underscored its far-reaching impact, reaching 3 million learners, distributing hundreds and thousands of learning materials, and removing long-standing bottlenecks to funding. It signaled the dawn of a new era for digital literacy in Nigeria's education system. In a major stride forward, Korea International Cooperation Agency (KIOCA) and Universal Basic Education (UBEC)'s partnership has laid the foundation for a broader rollout, with the ultimate goal of establishing one smart school in each of Nigeria's 774 local government areas. Priscilla Obasi, reporting for Global Television News.
The Nigerian Education Loan Fund has announced that a total of 449,039 students have so far benefited from its student loan scheme since it's been launched on May 24, 2024. In its latest report release, says the scheme has disbursed a total of over 86 billion naira as of August 6, 2025, saying its disbursement includes over 47 billion naira paid directly to 218 institutions as tuition fees and over 28 billion naira given to students as upkeep allowances. It was a night of glamour, unity and celebration as political heavyweights and notable figures converged in Abuja to mark the 50th birthday of Ugwuamba Uche Nwosu, son-in-law to former Imo State Governor Rochas Okorocha. At the Golden Jubilee drew Nigeria's most influential leaders cutting across party lines. Our correspondent, Kike Lomo Okere, reports.
From the National Assembly to political arena, dignitaries arrived in style to honor Ugwuamba Uche Nwosu on his golden milestone. In attendance were Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives Benjamin Kalu, former Senator Dino Melaye, 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi, and former President of the Senate Ayim Pius Ayim. They all hailed Ugwuamba Uche Nwosu as a visionary leader, philanthropist, and a bridge builder whose impact spanned politics and society. Also gracing the occasion was his father-in-law, former Imo State Governor Rochas Okorocha, and his beloved wife, Onoma Uche Nwosu, alongside other top political and business figures from across the country.
Greatly honored to share this moment with our friend, our brother, and an upcoming leader, Chief Uche Nwosu. It is my prayer that the Almighty will continue to sustain it. He's a good in-law, a good man, a philanthropist, a peaceful man, and I'm just happy that the world is seeing what I saw many years ago.
Of joy. I mean, we are grateful to God Almighty, and we celebrate him. Uche is a wonderful person. You know?
The evening featured heartfelt tribute, music, and a display of unity that transcend political affiliation.
Started showing interest just in my first year of university. He's been my friend, and from being my friend he became a husband, and he's still my husband. And I tell you, Uche has a beautiful heart. I call him my love. He's a fantastic father, and I'm glad I chose to do that with you.
In his remark, the celebrant expressed deep gratitude to God, his family, and all well-wishers for making the day a memorable one.
Feel elected, happy. If I say I'm mesmerized, it's no understatement. If I say I'm flabbergasted, it's no overstatement. I am really bamboozled with what I'm seeing here today. I thank God for my life. I thank God for my friends and my colleagues and those who were able to put this up for me. I'm grateful to them. I'm happy with them. I will ever remain grateful to them.
This Golden Jubilee was a more than a birthday. It is a celebration of legacy, leadership, and lasting influence, surrounded by family, friends, and political icons. Ogumba Uche Nwosu's 50th was a testament to lives he has touched and the bridges he continues to build. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
You're watching the live broadcast of News Express. When News Express returns, Trade Minister rallies support for infrastructure agency. Details coming shortly, plus foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back from that break. Now let's take you to the world of business, where the federal government, through the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, raked in 5.21 trillion naira from the sale of crude oil, gas and other economic activities in the first 6 months of 2025. It said the revenue inflow represents 42.7% of record 12.2 trillion naira it generated in the entire 2025 entire fiscal year. The figure, however, represents only 34.7% of the 15 trillion revenue target set by the federal government for the Commission to meet to implement the 2025 budget. The revenue was derived from royalties, gas sales, flare gas penalties, and joint venture rate proceeds. As the economic tightens and bills pile up, more Nigerians are finding creative ways to make ends meet. A side hustle, one seen as optional, is now becoming necessary. A second job that could make the difference between merely surviving and live comfortably. Kabir Hassan completes the report.
In today's Nigeria, one job is really enough to meet daily needs. More and more people are turning to side hustles, not for extra cash, but for a vital part of their survival. Today we are in the street of Abuja to hear what Nigerians can say about the importance of side hustle.
With the rising cost of living and limited job openings, side hustle has become more than just extra income. They are now survival strategy for many young Nigerians. From online businesses to creative trades, the youth are redefining work in face of economic hardship. Across selection of people interviewed on the benefit of side hustles, say such hustles provide financial stability, skill development, and independence. Some believe it's not just a choice but a necessity in the current economic climate.
Over 70% of Nigerians youth are unemployed. Is a concern.
Side hustle is very important because it helps standardize your finances. It gives you a financial edge over the economy.
Side hustle is important because as a Nigerian, if you don't have a side hustle, you'll be left at the side.
Experts recommend side hustle for youth, stressing the need for discipline, proper time management, and continuous skills improvement. They advise young people to start small, remain consistent, and avoid ventures that could compromise their main career.
Side hustle is very important. All I'm saying is side hustle is advisable.
Definitely, because you have to in other countries you can do 2-3 jobs. In Nigeria you can't just rely on one, so you have to do side hustle.
What do you mean by side hustling? If it is not something that is against the law, if it's a legitimate business that you know that it will be productive to your life, and besides that,
they have to find the techniques, creativity to help their self.
Still on the streets, many people advise youths to choose side hustles that match their skills and passions rather than chasing quick money. They also advise those hustling to ensure proper planning, financial discipline, and balancing the hustle with main job or educational qualification.
People are trying to make money in Nigeria, they are hustling. If there is government that help them to intervene for small scheme.
For all Nigerians, irrespective of your age difference, look for something aside your dream job to keep you.
The side hustle has moved from the background to the center stage of their financial lives, and with the rising showing no signs of slowing, it seems that extra job will remain a necessity for the foreseeable future. Kabir Hassan reporting for Global TV News.
The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Jumoke Oduole, has commended the stride of the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure under the leadership of Kali Suleiman Halilu. The minister gave the commendation after inspecting the agency's facility, including its innovation hub at the Abuja Technology Village. The visit was part of a broader effort by the ministry to assess local industrial capacity and identify high-impact projects that are celebrating the federal government's Nigeria First policy, an agenda focused on boosting domestic production, encouraging local consumption, and creating jobs through industrialization. And now on the foreign scene, Press Freedom Organization Reporters Without Borders has condemned what it described as the claimed assassination by the Israeli army of 6 journalists in the Gaza Strip. The organization frowned on the assassination of Al Jazeera correspondent Anal al-Sharif in Gaza, whom the armed forces admitted that they had targeted, contrary to Israel's accusation that al-Sharif was a terrorist affiliated with Hamas. The Press Freedom Campaign Group insisted that he was one of the most famous journalists from the Gaza Strip, as well as the voice of the sovereign Israel has imposed on Palestinians in Gaza. The Qatari broadcaster Al Jazeera had announced that 5 of its journalists had been killed in an Israeli strike on Sunday. Boko Haram terrorists have sowed terror among those living around Lake Chad for some 15 years. Surrounded by Cameroon, Chad, Niger, and Nigeria, the lake's countless islands serve as hideout for the Islamic militants. Major General Ibrahim Sadou Ali, the Commander-in-Chief of the Multinational Joint Task Force, says the island isolates the terrorists from the outside, making it difficult for the military to reach them. Zarau Nasir reports.
Surrounded by Cameroon, Chad, Niger and Nigeria, Lake Chad's countless small islands serve as hideouts for the Islamic militants whose violent campaign began in Nigeria's northeast before spilling into its neighbors. Jihadist attacks have surged in the wider Sahel region, though Boko Haram has lost ground to the army in the Lake Chad area. Major General Godwin Mutkut, the first commander of the Multinational Joint Task Force, says the aerial bombardment has not been effective in neutralizing terrorists around the Lake Chad.
The reason why the Boko Haram terrorists hibernate on the island, because it isolates them from the outside, thereby making it very difficult for the military to reach them. That's their thinking. And so there are times we do bomb them from the air, but it's not too effective.
Major General Mutkut, who highlighted the challenge posed by the size of the Lake Chad, also said vast amount of resources is needed to tackle the terror threat in the area.
And as I told you, 800 islands. It's quite huge, quite big. And so we need a lot of troops to engage in this kind of operations.
The United Nations says in Chad's Lak province alone, more than 250 people have been forced to flee their homes. Zahra Nasser reporting for Global TV News.
Now to the world of sport. The All Progressive Congress youth leader Dayo Israel has urged Nigerian youths to embrace sport, not just for recreation, but as a pathway to career success and a strategic tool in the fight against crime and unemployment. He made the remark during a community event built around one of football's biggest showdowns. More from the world of sport. The Super Eagles forward Omar Sadiq has completed the takeover of Nigerian National League NNL club Ranchers base. Sadiq, who currently plays for Spanish club Real Sociedad, bought the Kaduna club along with top politicians Bello El Rufai, Nura Abdullahi, and a former teammate of the striker, has been named the new president of the club. Tottenham Hotspur are back in talks to sign Crystal Palace Eberechi Eze in separate deal from Manchester City winger Savio. Spurs are trying again for Eze while they work on signing Savio from City this summer, according to Fabrizio Romano. The report added that Eze is keen on joining Tottenham, but the deal deals and depends on Crystal Palace as the player's release clause expired. To end Global TV News Express, here is a quick look at some of our top stories. President Bola Tinubu has made a U-turn, naming former House of Representatives member from Osun State, Ayo Amideran, as the chairman of the Federal Character Commission, as after reappointing Dr. Mahiba Dankaka. In business, the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Jimoke Oduwole, has commenced the strike of the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure under the leadership of Khalil Suleiman Halilu. And on the foreign scene, Press Freedom Organization Reporters Without Border has condemned what it described as the claimed assassination by the Israeli army of 6 journalists in the Gaza Strip. And finally, from the water sports, Super Eagles forward Umar Sadiq has completed the takeover of Nigerian National League NNL club Ranchers B. That's it on Global TV News Express. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. I am Bramsey Enoch Agbo. Thank you for watching.